Welcome to Aligned for Success podcast, where we help chiropractors create practices that truly serve their life's vision. I'm your host, Dr. Nikki and I'm here to show you how to break free from stagnation, grow your practice, and rediscover the joy of why you became a chiropractor to begin with. Whether you're looking to boost your revenue, spend more time with family, or simply enjoy practice life again, you're in the right place. Let's align your path to success. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Aligned for Success. Today, I am here with my friend, Alejandro Elias, who is just a freaking rock star powerhouse chiropractor. Him and his wife practice in Texas. And so we are coming off of about a week and a half ago. We were at an event together in Nashville called Profit and Purpose, one of the wealthy practitioner events of Stephanie Wigner. And Alejandro shared his story, and I had tears in my eyes just listening to the true amount of sacrifice that Alejandro and Emily made to get their practice up and running. I think that he has an awesome story to share, but also it's a great reminder of how truly hard and sacrificial entrepreneurship and owning businesses can be. He and his wife have a huge vision for their life, which I also know because I know their vision better than I know my own, which is to open and run 300 chiropractic clinics. And so when you have clarity in your vision too, everything else can truly follow. And so welcome, Alejandro. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you for having me in this wonderful podcast.
Yes, of course. Well, I would love for you to just share with everyone your story about how you became a chiropractor, what that journey looked like, and then opening your businesses.
All right, let's take it off. So I was never the smartest in my family. I have an older brother and he's the brain of the family. He's the main character. My identity was that I'm not the smartest guy, so I cannot do anything. And that actually shifted because I became a basketball player and I played college basketball. I was going to play professional basketball back home. And that was my identity. People knew me as a basketball player because I was not smart enough. Fast forward, we had a hurricane in Puerto Rico, 2017, destroyed the island. And that's when my brother called me and said, hey, I buy you a plane ticket. You're coming with me tomorrow. I'm like, sweet. At this point, I had 3 underwears, 3 pants, 3 shirts on my backpack because I came from college that weekend of the hurricane. So I only had 1 pair of all those things clean. So put on the backpack, hop on the plane, and I got to my brother, and he's a big visionary guy. And he gave me a book that I'll never forget because it's the first book I've ever read in my life. Is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he also told me I need to find a job. Fast forward, I didn't know English. I just talked Spanish. I didn't even know how to say hello. So I answered the phone as hola. Pretty Hispanic. So fast forward, I got a job as a maintenance on a hotel. I was wasting my time. He was always calling me out, like, you need to do something bigger with your life. So he actually trusted me more than what I trusted myself. At this point still, I was calling my parents and they were like, you're not smart enough, whatever, you should go back and like finish your college basketball career and try to go professional. And my brother was like, dude, you need to do something bigger. Like, come on, like, let's dream big. And I was like, okay, I'm going to chiropractic school. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. You're going to do it and you're going to kill it. And I'm like, I'm pretty scared. And that's when I applied. I got accepted and I met my beautiful wife the first day of school. Her fun fact, you need to say fun fact in school. And her fun fact was I talk Spanish. So I started talking with her. My goal was to I need someone that could help me study. I always think about it like, all my friends need to take me from point A to point C, not to point B. That's how I look at people. It's kind of bad, but I feel every time there's an opportunity. So I look at Emily like, oh, she's going to help me get to point C faster. Absolutely. And it's not taking advantage. I'm going to bring something to the table as well. I'm going to give. So we were studying and all that, and all the student people were asking me why don't you invite her out? I'm like, no, dude, this study partner.
This is my study partner.
Yeah, it's my study partner. And I remember I was getting a haircut at my apartment, and the guy said, you need to ask her out. So I literally called Emily in that moment. I was like, hey, do you want to go out? And she's like, what took you so long?
Aww.
Let's do it then. So we went out, and that's when the journey started. She was the one that taught me English, actually. If you look at our messages, they're pretty awful. So she taught me English and still teaching me. And fast forward, we wanted to open because her brother associated had a good experience. He tried to open and had a bad experience. He's a chiropractor as well. Her sister, on the opposite, associated, it was a good mentorship, but her payment was not good at all. So that's where like we were in between. Like, it's going to be hard for both of us to associate and get paid well. So we actually tried to open and from scratch. So we went to every bank, every lender, and we got denied. And people will tell you in school, like, you need 30% of what you're asking. So we're asking for 100. We have 30K safe on the bank account for more than 90 days, and we were still getting denied. I'm like, crap, this sucks. So on our internship, we're living in the basement of the doctor, and we asked him, like, hey, have you watched Shark Tank? And he's like, yes. And I'm obsessed with Shark Tank. Like, Emily knows. So the only time she cannot talk to me in the house is when I'm watching Shark Tank. And I'm like, okay, sit down. And I literally remember I dress up and everything on the basement. And I was like, hey, so this is my goal. Do you have a whiteboard? And he's like, yeah. Okay. I brought it. And I was like, so can you borrow this amount of money? Actually, not borrow. Can you give us this amount of money? The return will be this percentage of equity and profit. Okay, as we make this amount, we'll get more equity. You stay with that equity. And we picture everything beautiful there. And he's okay. And I'm like, but wait, if this works for us, we have to keep doing it for other students, because if we're struggling, and I consider ourselves like go-getters, if we're struggling, there's a bunch of people struggling out there. So we need to replicate this formula if it works. He's like, okay, but wait, one more thing. If there's chiropractors failing that we know, a lot of chiropractors are failing on their clinic, we need to buy them out, and they become partners, and we can help them as well. And he's like, I'm in. Okay, one big nugget here. We need to open 300 clinics though. We're probably not going to see it. And I talk about his kids and everything. We're probably not going to see it, but you and Nacho are going to see it. So like, are we in the same boat? And he's like, yeah. Okay, handshake. That's what we did. We did a handshake. We wrote on the napkin with a crayon of one of his kids there. And ever since, like, we've been going forward. We have 4 clinics now, and everything is thriving. We helped already a chiropractor that had a practice. He's been in practice 25 years, and he's been collecting more than ever since he started working with us. And then we opened another one from scratch, and they're actually doing wonderful. They actually opened yesterday, and they had 18 new patients the first day.
That's so awesome. There are 2 things that stick out to me in this. Number one, the fact that you and Emily had $30,000 saved before you even graduated. That's insane. Like, to have money and be like, we actually do have this money available for a down payment, because you guys that are listening that are chiropractors, you kind of live like very brokely through school and off of student loans. And so that's impressive. And then also just the fact that you had a vision and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to ask someone. And it's again, like meeting these people who would take you from point A to point C, and seeing this vision, bringing it to someone, and also showing them how it's like, okay, you can also be part of this too. I love too that most chiropractors want to help like the community. And so of course you guys are helping the community, but you guys are doing something even bigger where you're helping people who are running a business who need the most help, these business owners who are struggling. So that's like a win-win. In my mind, it's like, okay, you're helping not only your community through chiropractic care, but you're also finding these chiropractors who really need your help, and you're willing, and you have this amazing business model to do that. So you said you just opened your 4th clinic. They're all in Texas?
One is in Oklahoma, and the other 3 are in Texas.
Cool. So do you have like a vision of being one in every state or multiple in every state?
So that's what we want. We want to have multiple in every state. And that's where we want to partner with other chiropractors, because at least I want one of the person that is not practicing on the state. Like I was talking with Andy in Expanders actually, and like see how we could partner, and like we can keep opening in Montana, So like that's why like I feel partnership is the future there.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Okay, so walk us through when you and Emily opened your first clinic. Was it so easy and just not everything naturally came to you guys, or what did that journey look like?
Well, it kind of sucked, honestly. And the reason that we have 30,000 is because we save a lot of money. We were living pretty frugal, how you mentioned. And Emily didn't have her dream wedding. Actually, that is something I should add there. Emily wanted this big wedding with family. And, my family is Hispanic, so it's a freaking huge family. And like we sacrificed our wedding and we just went to the courthouse, and like dropped $200 and got married at the courthouse, went to a restaurant that we thought it was fancy. We spent $50 and then went back to the apartment, and next day to school. So she sacrificed like wearing her white dress in front of her friends. That didn't happen, but she was bought into the mission. Another thing we did is we went door to door for 90 to 120 days before we opened. And we didn't try to sell people like chiropractic, like a lot of chiropractors do. We just introducing ourselves. Hey, it's Alejandro and Emily. We're opening a clinic in this town. And we actually got them into the mission by saying, like, if you open a business in this town, where would you place it? And they were telling us out this road and I will avoid this road. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Like people are buying into the mission just by like, they think they're helping us with that. We were already under contract on the building.
That's so smart though. But just like, how can I get these people to have a conversation with me?
Exactly. Yeah. Like it was Monday to Sunday, and people like were closing doors on our face. Like it was uncomfortable. It was super uncomfortable. Every weekend we had a screening event on the gyms. Like we're just trying to get out there, people to meet us. I remember there was a big influencer in town. He owns a bar. And I remember Emily and I on a Friday, we dress up and we said, let's go to the bar. We don't have money, but we're going to drink water and we're going to meet this guy. And I remember he was on the bar by himself. And I was like, oh my God, I was like freaking out. Like, this is amazing. Like, I'm about to talk with this guy.
Yeah.
And I just like sat near him. I forgot to order water and everything. I'm like, hey, so you are Tim Smith, right? And he's like, yes. And we started talking, like, hey, like I'm trying to open a business here. Like, what would you do? And I was straight to the point. Like, I didn't want to waste his time because like he could have stand up. So every opportunity is valuable and you don't want to waste people's time. So just go straight to the point. It's the same thing from point A to point C, who's going to help you. And after we door knock, we send them a handwritten letter every day. Our goal was 100 to 200 doors. So every day we wrote 100 to 200 letters. And next day at 5 a.m., we were already on the mailbox just dropping them. And it was like, hey, it was great meeting you. Thank you for the advice you gave us. We love your shirt, things like that. And then 2 weeks before we opened the clinic, we actually send them a letter as well with an offer and say, thank you so much for your feedback. We're opening in this road. Thank you for helping us and for avoiding these other roads. Like, like we make them personal. And at this point, Nikki, we still have people calling, making appointments from those door,
That is so crazy.
They didn't make an appointment that time, but 4 years later, they're making the appointment. So for me, that's pretty humbling for sure.
Yeah, that's so awesome. They're like, I don't need you right now, but if I ever need a chiropractor, you're of course the first person that they're going to think of. So how many doors did you guys knock on? What was your goal?
The goal was 2,000 and I think we did like 6,000.
Oh my, that's like incredible. It was 100 a day, right?
Yes.
That's
good.
Yeah.
And in this moment, like we got delayed as well because we got reported to the board, actually. So a chiropractor that is in town, he's part of the board. He reported us like practicing chiropractic without being licensed because we were saying like, hey, we're chiropractors, we're new into town. Those letters, he basically like stated like that. So he delayed our process for a month because we were supposed to open in November. The hearing was at the end of November. So we had to open in December, but it was a big blessing still.
That's just a testament to who's like, these guys are literally showing up and showing me up. So how can I start to slow them down? That's truly all that was. He was like very threatened, I'm sure. Is his practice still open?
It is. I'm trying to buy him out. That's
trying to buy it. That's right. Wouldn't that be
the only one I wouldn't have as a partner? I just want to buy his clinic. And
that would be like the ultimate, like full circle moment. Keep us posted on that. That's awesome. I know you said you like Shark Tank. Have you ever seen the episode? It's the owner and founder of the Freshly Picked Moccasins.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember she told her story how she like took window panes and she knocked all the copper or whatever is in window panes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Your story reminds me so much of that because it's like she was willing to do whatever she needed to do, which was like go to freaking junkyards, get windows and hammer out whatever's in there that you could sell for money. And you're telling your story about like knocking on 100 doors a day. And it just reminds me so much of her. And like, I just remember that story from Shark Tank thinking like, wow, this is like what true owning a business actually is. It's like, how hard are you willing to go? How far are you willing to take things just to get started? And so I know she's like a billionaire now. And so I totally see that for you guys, just like this was our creation story. And this is how we have taken that story and created 300 different offices. And I don't know if you want to share, but I know at Profit and Purpose, you shared about your grandfather, how he passed away during this whole thing. And that was really what was, it really hit me in the heart, just about the choices and the sacrifices you've made. So if you're comfortable, if you would share that story. I know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because this is one of the reasons that people look at me and say like, oh, you don't have a heart, or like, why are you so mean? But it's like, if I'm willing to sacrifice a lot of things, like I feel you can sacrifice as well. Like how you were mentioning, like there's opportunities everywhere and we're on the land of the free. Like we have so many opportunities. It's what are you willing to sacrifice? So during that process, my grandpa, he died, and like I could go home, spend $400 on the plane ticket, go there, see him like on a box and then bury him. And then, okay, I'm living back to Texas and going back. But I look at it like those are 300 to 600 doors I was going to miss that weekend. Yeah. So for me, like I enjoy him alive, and I was so grateful, that I like got to enjoy him for so many years, that at the end of the day, like, it sounds bad, but like he was dead already. I was super grateful. I enjoy him alive. I know if he would be here, he would have told me the same thing, like keep doing your thing. Because like few of the people that like actually had confidence in me was my brother, my grandma, and my grandpa. So like, I could bet whatever in this earth that he would have told me, like, dude, like, just keep knocking on doors. You have a goal to talk about, like, to accomplish. So that's why, like, when people tell me excuses, like, oh, I woke up with a cough today, I cannot show up. I'm like, bro, like, come on. Like, has to be better than that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just truly, and I remember like I posted on my Instagram story that you're living the American dream and you're from Puerto Rico. And so that's what's so cool is that you weren't even born here. You didn't speak the language, but you didn't use any of that as an excuse. I'm sure it was even more motivating. Like I'm starting literally 10 steps, maybe 100 steps behind most people who are even born here. But I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I'm going to use it to leverage my intelligence. How can I get through school? How can I also use this to propel me in the future? And that's what's truly so inspiring about your story is that people could be like, oh, Emily and Alejandro, their parents like must have given them a bunch of money, or they just had this easy journey. And I think it's so important for everyone to hear that owning a business isn't easy, and that you have to be willing to make these sacrifices and do these things to get to your ultimate goal, because 300 practices, that's a big goal. And so it takes really big steps to get there. And I just want to wrap up with one last question. And so if I were to ask you, Alejandro, what is one decision that you've made in your life that really helped align your life for success?
I'm going to tell you two, actually.
Okay, great.
They go together. So the first one for me was partnering with someone already, because he had the knowledge and the money, and I had the time. So partnering with him, and he got me from point A to point C. But now the question is, how can I get to point E? So that was actually working with TWP and meeting Steph and you, because we had a big dream. And we had it on a box with our partner. We just had it on a box. And working with you guys, it got us uncomfortable to like start everything. And since we started working with you guys, it's when we literally like bought an office, open another clinic. So that's when we put the speed dial on it, because he has the knowledge and money. We had the time, but now we're incorporating more knowledge as well. So learning from you guys to incorporate that knowledge with his knowledge is when the bomb exploded, basically.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your amazing story with us. You guys give Alejandro a follow on Instagram. It is Pathway to Victory, right? That's your handle?
Path to Victory Cairo.
Path to Victory Cairo. Yes. That's your podcast name, Pathway to Victory. Or is it Path? Okay,
Path
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will tag that in the show notes too. But thank you so much, Alejandro, for being here. And thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Align for Success. If you guys are also interested, We are getting ready to kick off another round of the 90-day sprint. It will start the first week of June, which is actually where I did meet Alejandro through the Wealthy Practitioner. And I will also leave the website there so you guys can learn more information. Thank you all, and I will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in to Aligned for Success. If today's episode resonated with you, please be sure to subscribe and leave a review. This helps other chiropractors find their way to practice freedom too. Remember, true success comes from when your practice aligns with your life's purpose. Until next time, I'm Dr. Nikki Cottis, reminding you that a thriving practice and a fulfilling life go hand in hand. See you next week.